Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sunless Skies. We have a few things we could do today. Another one is we could go back into Perdurance to continue the quest of trying to rescue the daughter. We could also go to the Barbers and Workworld to deliver the eyeball that we got at the end of the last run in Perdurance. Or we could go and do Parliament. I think since we're already here, going back into Perdurance is probably the best course of action here, so let's go back into the parlor. The windows in the parlor are shuttered, the light stained with pale yellows, blushing pinks, and bruised violets. Let's hand our invitation to the exasperated butler, unless he knows. Let's hang on, does he know the person we're trying to find? We are trying to find... He does not. We are trying to find someone who can help us make these ladies escape. Let's hand our invitation in and see what happens. Portrait of the Empress swings open. You emerge a little tender into the morning. Here we go. Locate a counselor's agent. They will be trying to make themselves known to you. You must only look for their signal. You drift nonchalantly about the room, observing and eavesdropping. At last, you come to a small corner table where one of the chaperones, a clairvoyant doctoress, is shuffling tarot cards. The back of the cards bear a distinctive, familiar pattern, the seal of the macabre counselor. You give the doctoress the slightest of nods. She winks back. "Please, sit," she bids, "and let me part the veil twixt present and future for you." The ominous tones are, perhaps, taking it a bit far. She is wearing modest fashions, but without any adherence to society's opinion regarding colour or pattern. Paisleys in magenta layer stripes of emerald and indigo. Her hair is a mousy colour, her eyes unremarkable. Her face is pleasing brown, but not particularly distinguished. The overall impression she gives is one of dazzling colour and clashing patterns. A deliberate misdirection? She draws gruesomely hand-painted cards and lumpen crystals from a clinking, beaded reticule and constantly smokes cigars. So we have quite a lot of options here. We can introduce ourselves. Let's start with an introduction. "You were promised help. Well, here it is." The clairvoyant doctoress tosses the edge of her floral embroidered capelet and runs a hand down an equally elaborate bodice. "I'm to be the heiress's replacement. We'll swap clothes and perhaps a few other items. No one will know to look for her because she'll still be here. Clever? Yes?" Perhaps your skepticism shows. She grins. "Ah, you think we don't look alike. Allow me to reassure you that it is a temporary inconvenience. I'll worry about that. You worry about finding an escape route. I'd recommend gossiping with the debutantes, chaperones and servants. Every cage, no matter how gilded, has a hatch through which someone can remove the shit." Wow. I like this. I like this lady. Yet again, my affinity for the clairvoyance is showing. You mention the complication of the surplus sister, and that the heiress refuses to leave without her. Quite. Is our employer forgetful, do you think? Or manipulative? It doesn't matter, of course. We were paid for a single sister, and I can't split myself in two. You'll just have to convince the Mrs. Macabre to separate, won't you? Okay, so I need to find a way to convince the presumptuous heiress and the luckless sister to separate, and then find a way to smuggle someone out of Perdurance. Let's get to know her. You like to know the people you are committing crimes with. Easier to predict the likely moment of betrayal. Never you mind about that. Just stick to the plan, and it'll all be right and tight. The clairvoyant doctoress yawns elaborately and dismisses you with the majesty of a dowager duchess. What's that smell on her breath? Under the bitterness of cigars? Candle wax? That can't be right. Oh, is she a snuffer? Oh, okay. Interesting. For the uninitiated, is it snuffer? That might be the right term. They're people who take they're monsters, creatures who take the faces of other people and have wax masks, basically. They show up in the exceptional story of Flint. There's a playlist for it on my channel if you're interested. If I remember, I'll put a title card in the top of the video, but I always forget, so... It's a good story. Right, okay, so I can return to the morning room. She finishes your reading with an elaborate flourish. You will meet a handsome stranger in a mask this evening. You know, I think I'm getting the hang of this. We can't tell her we're ready for the escape because we haven't disentangled the sisters, or we haven't found an escape route, so let's return to the morning room. According to her, we need to talk to the people and maybe find a way out. One of the dowager duchesses rings a bell. Conversation halts with practiced suddenness. The morning is over. Everyone arrays themselves in procession according to their station. Yes, we go through a narrow and twisted passage, stumbling in an enveloping darkness as the debutantes giggle and shout. You hear the screech and shudder of time looms at full power, spinning the hours backwards for each and every one of you. You emerge blinking into a dazzle of afternoon. Okay, so it looks like we can gossip with the chaperone for the separation of the sisters. We can speak with the clairvoyant doctoress again. Her eyes are fixed on the candelabra before her, and the flames, steadying in yellow, that burn on its candles. Though we can talk to her at any point. We can charm a chaperone that'll give us passing time. Charm a servant or a debutante. Okay, so gossip with the chaperones is what we want to do here. Where else to look for scandal but amongst the guardians of mortality? Perhaps they know something useful about the macabre counsellor's daughters. Wine loosens their tongue. The older of the macabre counsellor's daughters was, until recently, engaged in an affair with the polygynous forewoman below stairs, a woman lacking social status or connection. You point out the regimentation of each cycle. How could the luckless sister possibly slip away to an assignation? The chaperones indicate the nearby dumbwaiter, built to carry hot food and dirty dishes from below stairs. A concealed door in the morning room apparently serves a similar purpose. Next time you visit, perhaps you should take a little look below stairs. Interesting, we've learned of the secret staircases. Let's move on. Passage opens behind the china cabinet and the procession forms once more. We're ignoring the faceless masks once again, and we will never think of these terrors again. And purderance is in evening. Is there anything I can do here? Okay, I can. I can gossip with the debutantes again. The doors of night. They have sharp eyes and minds under the flounces of taffeta. Or so you hope. Perhaps they know something that will aid your escape with the counsellor's daughter. The debutantes tell you of the governesses, the empress's agents who wear oval masks of featureless obsidian. They are only glimpsed in the passages between morning and afternoon, between afternoon and evening, between evening and dusk, or possibly dawn. You hear stories of disappearances and secret tribunals, of interrogations and re-education. A court that lies beneath the court. There are hidden hatches in the passages, the doors of night. The governesses use them to remove those of us whose family displease Her Majesty. You wonder whether you could make a certain sister vanish in the same manner. After evening would be best. When passing through the tunnels after evening, look for a hidden passage. Well, we're just about to go through it, I feel. Let's see if we can locate these secret tunnels. You have learned that the governesses, masked agents of Her Majesty, use hidden doorways into and out of the passages between Perdurance's rooms. If you can find one, it would be exactly the escape route you need. The music ends, the dancing dies, the lights dim. The chaperones, like patient sheepdogs, herd the debutantes together. The door from evening opens onto a lightless passage. As ever, the debutantes gossip and giggle, using merriment as their shield against the gloom and the faceless figures it might hold. This time, as you pass along the corridor, you turn your eyes from the candles to preserve your night vision. You ignore the procession and study the dark. There, a cloaked figure in a featureless obsidian mask emerges from an unseen door. They glide alongside the procession, looking intently into each person's face. The debutantes look away, a touch of hysteria creeping into their jollity. You search the walls where the governess appeared, finding the crack of a closed door, and the hidden hatch that opens it, and the hidden catch that opens it. This is the escape route you need to squirrel one of the sisters away. On a future evening in Perdurance, when all else is in place, you'll be able to make use of this. A debutante veers away at the last moment. Terribly sorry, I thought you were someone else. I did little to impress anyone. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm here on a mission. It appears you made little impression during your time here. The inhabitants of Perdurance are already hard at work percolating the feuds and affairs that will dominate their new day. You make a quiet exit. How many more invitations do we have? We have 3. Okay, well, let's go back in again. Join the half-light mask. Into morning. Like, this guy just never leaves. Here we go. We can go below the stairs. A concealed door blends in with the wallpaper here behind a bamboo screen, allowing servants to pass modestly in and out. The area below stairs are part like the kitchen of a grand country house and part like a factory floor. Cooks prepare food in enormous pots. Servants appear with empty plates to be scraped off and cleaned, even while others carry steaming dishes upstairs. Further back are rows upon rows of hour looms, each tended by weavers with their hair pinned tightly back. The heat of the cooking combines with the shudder of machinery in pandemonium. So, I can talk to the fuliginous forewoman? She is an impressive sight, presiding over the din with aplomb and a rolling pin. The forewoman's waistcoat is dark and tightly buttoned. Beneath it, a corset strives gallantly against her ample figure. Her skirt is hitched up over a pair of soot-stained trousers and ankle boots. Strings of glass beads glitter at her throat, casting dazzles over her rich ochre skin as she bellows orders, sending workers scurrying from this loom to that. She turns to you. Her eyes are lined with pitch, grime, or cosmetic affection. Ask her what she does. There seems to be a bustle all around her. The fuliginous forewoman squints. I keep this damn place running, is what I do. Do you think the looms ravel their own time, or untangle knotted skeins, or order new consignments of hours to make sure them above don't go wanting for their precious perfect day? You ever been in an hour carding accident? You ever seen a weaver's scalp torn off when their hair gets tangled in the warp? She takes a deep breath, and her already impressive bosom inflates to magnificent proportions. Them above may think they're all that, but this, right here, this is Perdurance's heart and soul. Okay, well, do you know the luckless sister? Inquiring about illicit love affairs almost always goes well. You've only been slapped twice. Well, thrice. The fuliginous forewoman's expression turns hard in an instant. Them above been talking, have they? Snide little gossips. She's the only one of them worth anything. She sounds remarkably affectionate as she warms to her subject. Perhaps it was the luckless sister who broke off their affair. No, it was me, the forewoman admits miserably. Her face spasms for a moment. She draws out a handkerchief from her corset and coughs heartily into it. She shoves the handkerchief into a pocket, but not before you notice a violet stain on the fabric. Aha! The forewoman has more secrets. Uncover them. Let's ask about the handkerchief. You noticed a violet stain, the precise colour of certain aggressive strains of fungus found in the Reach. Saw that, did you? I travelled before I was forewoman, and on my journeys I was exposed to certain spores. They colonised both my lungs and my thoughts, and are part of something old and vast. They awake impulses in me, the last and latest of which is to bring them home. I've denied them as long as I can. I must leave soon. He looks away. That's why I broke off the affair. Better to do it like that than to sneak off into the night. I thought about asking her to leave with me. Us. But it would mean abandoning her sister. And what if the spores colonised her too? But maybe. No use worrying on maybes. Perhaps you can use this information to make one sister convince the other to leave. Interesting. Well, let's end our conversation. You can barely hear her over the din of the looms anyway. Let's move onwards. It's afternoon. So I could go below stairs again. I could speak to the clairvoyant doctoress. Can we do anything here with her? No. We've located the escape route, but we haven't disentangled the sisters, and we need to do that at the evening. So let's return to the dining room. I guess I'll charm chaperone while I'm here. Might as well. Thank you very much. Debutante's favour. Move onwards. The china cabinet once more. Okay, we're in evening. Right. So, let's try the presumptuous heiress. Expose her secret. Do I want to expose her secret? The heiress might be willing to persuade the luckless sister to leave with you if she believes her sister is in danger. Or can I talk to the luckless sister? Okay, we have two options here. I can threaten to expose her affair with the forewoman unless she convinces the presumptuous heiress to leave with you. I can reconcile her with the forewoman. You can try, at least. And perhaps the presumptuous heiress will be easier to persuade once she knows her sister has a better reason to stay. What is the best option here? I do not remember what I did last time. Let's go with the reconcile, see what happens. You begin by hinting at the fuliginous forewoman's secret motives, casting that entire situation in the frame of a romantic tragedy. The luckless sister attempts to look uninterested, but her eyes betray her. You tell her the truth. The forewoman suffers from a singular fungal condition, that in order to tend to it she will need to leave Perdurance. That she ended their relationship in order to protect the luckless sister. I don't need protecting, the sister snaps. Indeed, but she can't stay with her lover and her sister, can she? Oh, you are clever for a brute. Very well. If you promise to take my sister away from here, I will convince her to go with you. Perhaps after this business with the fungus, I will see her again. You better bring the forewoman the good news. Okay, the song ends, so I need to go see the forewoman again? Tie up an inconvenient loose end? The forewoman knows of your interest in the sisters and may endanger your escape. Let's not do that. Can I talk to the heiress? Is there anything new I can do here? No. Okay. Let's charm the chaperones again. We'll move into evening, or dawn, I guess. Move onwards. Your time at Purderance is at an end once again. Ah, chaperone taps you on the shoulder. You were equally popular with both debutantes and servants. I'll take my Salon's Tube gossip and 200 experience. But I do believe we're going to have to go in there again. My oh my. Let's go. So, I need to speak the forewoman, so we need to go below stairs. Talk to the Phleginus forewoman. And I can reconcile her with the luckless sister. You just want to see them happy. Well, and also to see the forewoman stays quiet about your escape with the heiress. You enlarge upon the luckless sister's willingness to renew her relationship with the forewoman, and to elope together if the need arises. She'd come with me, even appreciating my condition. Damn and blast! That girl's got 3 times the courage she does sense. That's a fact, but I couldn't. You talk her round from her wavering. After all, it's true love conquers all, not true love conquers everything but some mushrooms. Okay, we can end that conversation. Move onwards. Do I need to speak to the clairvoyant doctoress now? Have I set everything up? Yes, I have. We are willing to escape. The sisters are willing to part. An avenue of escape has been identified. Is she prepared to do her part? Yes, yes, give me a sign in the evening, and we'll meet in the passages between evening and the parlor. Okay. Down to the dining room, I suppose. And I guess I'll keep charming chaperones. I guess I could try and charm debutantes. Let's try it. You exchange wicked, whispered observations on the nearby chaperones and servants. Your companion has a razored tongue and appreciates your keen observation of others' flaws. The Dowager Duchess gives a small nod. Evening. We can make our escape. All is ready. You give the clairvoyant doctoress the faintest of nods, and she clicks her bag shut with a determined snap. The evening takes an indeterminable time to end. You endure waltz after dragging waltz. Debutantes wheel endlessly across the dance floor. Then it is over. The music and the dancing cease. The chaperones and debutantes form their procession, ready to pass on to the parlor at dawn, or perhaps dusk, and begin the day again. Catch the eye of the presumptive heiress, who gives you a nervous nod. The door opens. The dark passage beckons. The procession files in. No sooner have you passed through the door that you hear a clatter behind you. The doctoress has made a show of dropping her bag in the dark and searching for it. The chaperones are distracted. Taking the presumptive heiress's hand, you pull her to the hidden door. You fumble at the catch. There's a trick to it, it seems. Hurry! Your charge hisses. Catch turns. The door opens. You step through. You wait with the presumptive heiress in the passage behind the door of night. Her breathing is shallow and tense. You hear the procession move on, and then there is a tap at the hidden door. The doctoress, who sees uncannily well in the dark, is there. You admit her. Right, she says professionally, scrutinizing your companion's features. Time to do my bit. What exactly is your bit? The presumptive heiress asks. Well, let's complete our escape. Her once luckless sister may now even be making her own escape with the forewoman. But perhaps that's not something the doctoress needs to know. The doctoress removes an unguent from her bag and begins rubbing it into the heiress's temples, along her hairline, behind the ears and under the jaw. If you disappear, they will look for you, the doctoress explains, indicating that the other woman is to lie on the floor. Therefore, I will be your replacement. Ideally, I'd give that stuff another minute to work, but I need to rejoin the procession before you're missed. Be still and be quiet. Sitting astride the heiress, she pushes her sharp fingernail into the skin of the girl's temple and slides it like a scalpel around her face, with a sound like tearing paper. I can't feel it. Why can't I feel it? The heiress gasps. The doctoress shushes her. When the incision is complete, the doctoress reaches up and with a tug slides off her own face. Beside is a solid knot of muscle, palpitating and inhuman, like a magician whipping a tablecloth from beneath a set of crockery. She swaps her face and the heiress's. A few pinches and tucks, the application of ointment from another jar, and the process is complete. Done, says the doctoress, as the presumptive heiress feels the unfamiliar shapes of her new face. Turn your back as they quickly trade clothes. I'm going to ask her what she is. You are certain she is not, and has never been, human. In old London, your kind called mine Snuffers. We were not friends. Few of us made the journey to heaven, or perhaps many of us did. Who knows how many of us hide behind faces you thought were familiar? She grins and is surprised by the shape and feel of her new smile. Then it is time to part. She returns to the procession, and you lead the heiress on. The governess's hidden tunnels wind behind the grand chambers and beneath the hour looms. You pass cells and shelves of records. Sometimes you hear voices and hide until they pass. Eventually, you find your way to an exterior gantry from where you can see your engine in the sidings of the parlor. Using a stolen lamp, you flash a signal until your crew comes to collect you. Return the presumptive heiress to her mother at the most serene mausoleum. Wonderful. We have escaped. And with that, I do think I'm going to end this episode here. In the next episode, we shall deliver the heiress to her mother. We shall gather our reward. And we shall see how it goes. Snuffers. I forgot there was Snuffers in Sunless skies. Glorious. But thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thank you again to the members. It does mean the world to me and it helps me keep making these videos. And as always, see you next time.